Okay, day 3, morning update. Had trouble getting to sleep again last night. Finally got to sleep. Had crazy dreams, but slept like the dead once I fell asleep. Woke up this morning before dawn. Didn't have any of the grogginess that I normally do in the morning. I didn't bolt upright like, but I just sort of woke up. And as soon as I stood up, I was clear and awake, and so that was cool. I did dream of a vegetable mushroom carrot soup. Um, so, for what that's worth, I guess that's a craving. Um, what else? I didn't wake up as many times during the night to pee. I think only once or twice, which is welcome. This is my first morning drink of water. Yesterday I did a little bit more than a liter and a half, um, but still not anywhere near 3 liters, which is supposedly what you're supposed to do daily. So today's breakthrough day. That's way more satisfying than it was the first 2 days. Um, Morning routine. I fed the cats. I have to do the cat boxes. I have enough energy today. I feel a lot better. Headache is mostly gone. Um, my body feels better. Like there's less inflammation. My head's clearer. I feel calmer. So I did my morning routine. I fed the cats. I jumped on the scale this morning. And so I just want to read off. You saw the video at the beginning, but I just want to sort of read off the statistics. So day 1, I weighed 245.2 pounds. 38.6% of it was fat. A water content of 46.9%. My heart rate was 80 beats a minute. My pulse wave velocity, which is a measure of blood pressure. Anything under 7 or 7 and under is good. Anything over 7 is high blood pressure. Mine was 7.3. My muscle mass supposedly was 142.9 pounds, which I don't know where they're getting that. My bone mass was 7.6 pounds. It's amazing that that's all there is that kind of holds up the Pillsbury Doughboy. Day 2, my weight dropped to 240.3. That's a 4.9 pound loss. My fat percentage increased 2.8% to 41.4%, which I think is to be expected when the body thinks it's starving and before it enters ketosis. Water percentage was 46.2, which was a 0.7% decrease. My heart rate increased to 90 beats. My pulse wave velocity decreased by 0.1 to 7.2. My muscle mass dropped 9.3 pounds to 133.6, which is impossible, I think. But what the hell do I know? My bone density or bone mass decreased by 0.3 to 7.3 pounds. Day 3, I'm down to 237.9, a total 7.3 pound loss. Fat percentage remained the same, 41.4%. I think my fat is more stubborn than most people's fat because it's emotional fat. It keeps me safe. And I'll tell you a story about that in a minute as soon as I get through this. Water percentage is the same as day before, day 2, 46.2%. Heart rate is up to 107. I'm hoping that means an increase in metabolism. My pulse wave velocity went up to 7.3, hoping that's due to the stress of yesterday. Muscle mass decreased again to 132.2, a total 10.7 pound decrease. My bone went down to 7.2, which is a total 0.4 decrease. If somebody can explain in the comments how the hell you lose 10.7 pounds of muscle, but only 7.3 pounds of weight on the scale. I don't get it, but that's okay. So the weight and the emotional and blah blah blah. Well, growing up, I lived in a family that uh, I had two sort of absentee parents that were always working, lower middle class. I remember growing up and our family went to the food kitchen to get food donations, and we were surrounded by other minorities. I'm Middle Eastern Jewish. We're a minority, even though you might be like, oh, he's Italian. Oh, he's white. No. Uh, but everybody else thought the same thing. So when we were standing in line, we had all these other minorities around us going, the hell are you doing here? You're white. And we're like, oh my God, we're not white. Um, Even though if anybody asked my parents, we were white, which was hilarious. And so anyway, we went to the food kitchen. So there was always some sort of like food scarcity, and the food that we always had was always not like high quality food. It was like uh, sort of like bulk foods, like tons of like rice and beans, tons of cheap white bread. Um, you know, every once in a while we would have protein, and things got better. The economy changed. My dad got a better job. We triple mortgaged the house. We were $60,000 in credit card loan debt, etc., etc. My dad had to retire early, lose 50% of his Social Security check, which, of course, now that he's gone, hurts my mom because she gets his survivorship benefits, but only the amount that he got because of retiring early. So it was either like go homeless or, do that. So it's six of these, half a dozen of these, but that's, life as lower middle class people in the United States of America. Gold, red, white, and blue. So there was always food scarcity and, or the fear of it at least. I don't remember ever going to bed hungry. My mom's one of those people that, like, when the apocalypse comes, there's going to be cockroaches and my mom. And my mom will have, like, an entire Costco of, like, canned goods and things like that. So she was really good about that, and that's a huge blessing. But there was always the fear of it and the talk about it, like about how money is tight and this and that. And, I think psychologically that screws with people. So anyway, I was always, a bigger kid since I was I would say since before my bar mitzvah, just a little bit before, I was always a bigger kid. I used to exercise 4 hours a day. Hold on. There's a little acid reflux. My body is like, what are you doing? I don't know. And I used to exercise 4 hours a day. I was pretty serious about taekwondo and sparring and all of these things. And it really didn't matter what I did, I was always, like 160 pounds and above, and then, moved to 180 and, all the way up to, I think my heaviest was 260. And I've done everything. I've done Atkins. I've done ketogenic. I've done slow carb. I've done bulletproof. I've done calorie in, calorie out. I went vegetarian. There was like 2 months where I, was vegetarian, and, I consumed enough soy to give me man boobies. And so it's always been there. And there was this one time where I, after I worked for Apple and got shit canned, thank you. I sold all my stock, sadly, before it split 7 times, but, needed to do it because there was no work at the time. We were in a recession. This was 2012. This was the second recession. And my friend got fired too, and we decided we're never going to have potentially the opportunity again to go to Europe and see Europe, and why the hell not? And I had tried to convince him to do it before, and before he got fired. And once he got fired, his phone call to me was when are you leaving and how long does it take to get a passport? And I was like, yes. So we went, and it was very interesting to see how they live over there and to eat their food. And God, their food is so much better. I felt so much better. I don't know if it's them not putting Roundup in the food, like pesticides, using pesticides, if their food laws are different. But man, I was in France and I ate bread and cheese and wine and I didn't gain a pound. And I felt great all the time. And then when I came back to the States, the food's crap comparatively. So I became a little bit of a snob. And you haven't lived until you've had a pastry from the train station in Munich, an Apfelstrudel. You think I'm messing around. It beats the pastries in Paris, hands down, which I didn't think was possible. But anyway. But the story I wanted to tell you about the fat sort of being a cushion for me, or a protective mechanism, is it has prevented me. It prevented me from entering stand-up comedy earlier. It's made me shy about dating. Just feeling bad about myself. And part of that's, I don't know what it is, psychological and emotional and all that shit. I remember when I was in Taekwondo, I used to do 4 hours a day. And to try to motivate me, my sensei would say, I don't know if sensei is the right word, but anyway, she would say, come on, Butterball. And it was like, I'm an emotional person. Don't say shit like that. So that always was a thing for me. And when I was in Europe, we were on a train coming into Portugal, and they said we were in Lisbon, which was where we were going. And so I was like, oh shit, we have to get off the train. And me and my friend were both half asleep. So I woke his ass up and I was like, we're here, get off the train. Because they're only staying, long enough for people to get off. It's like a subway. It's not like it's not like an Amtrak. And so I got all my shit together and I ran to the door, and the door was still open and the train had started moving again. And I was like, if I run fast enough, if I match the speed of the train and I run off the train, I will stay upright. So I did it. I ran right off the train with my heavy ass backpack behind me, and I was upright for about 3.7 seconds until momentum and gravity and all that shit took over and swiveled me around and popped me on my back like a goddamn turtle. And I'm on my back, and all my vertebrae cracked. I think it fixed the scoliosis in my spine. I don't know, but all my vertebrae cracked, and it was the most painful thing I've ever experienced, and shocking, and I couldn't breathe. And about a minute later, my friend is standing right above me. I was gonna say in front of me, but above me. And he goes, you okay there? What do you think? You're Indiana Jones, train jumper? And I was like, dude, they said we were in Lisbon. He's like, this is Lisbon, but not city center. And I was like, well, nobody told me that shit. And I thought we were gonna miss our stop. And he's like, do you want me to help you up? And I was like, no, I can't. I can't. I think the fat cushioned most of the impact, but I'm in such pain. And so he's like, you look like a turtle that's flipped upside down that can't roll over. And I was like, I know. So I unclipped, those backpacks that you use for backpacking. They have the chest strap and the waist strap, which I call the belly strap. Oh no. What's that? Lint? Beard. Anyway, so I undid everything and sort of slid off of the backpack and onto the floor. And I was there for like an hour until I could finally move around again. And so anyway, we got to Lisbon late, and and then as soon as we got into the hostel, we walk into the hostel, and it's this big, beautiful, room, and like 8 beds and all that, but like, it's Europe. There's no air conditioning in most places. And we get there, and it's I think May or June, and my friend goes, these people are uncivilized. They don't have air conditioner. And I'm like, yo, we're from Florida. You can't you can't say that, because in Florida we have people that think it's a good idea to drive through a fast food drive-through and throw a baby alligator through the window, or attack their spouse with a squirrel or a chipmunk or something, or screw up multiple elections. I don't know. You can't say that people are uncivilized because they don't have air conditioning. So anyway, so I feel good. I'm in better spirits. I'm less cranky. I'm gonna try to get some work done. I feel hungry. Like, I have that emptiness. So there's hunger. There's a lot of like gurgling in my stomach, and there's some acid reflux when I was laying down, and sometimes when I'm sitting up. And I want to burp so bad, but I'm not going to do it on camera. Oh, I have grays coming in. Oh, how lovely. And today is therapy day. Today I Skype with my my therapist. Gas. What can I tell you? I'm a gas giant. So I Skype with my therapist today, and it's my therapist from Colorado. I started seeing her about 2 or 3 years ago now. It's the longest relationship of my life with a woman that I actually trust, and I pay her hourly. So there you go. But anyway, it's really good. I've started to do a lot of self-analysis. So there's times where we're having a therapy session, and I'm like, I have a theory about why this happens or that happens, or I behave a certain way or have a certain reaction. And her reaction is like, she's like, of course you have a theory. So if that tells you anything about the kind of person I am. I'm going to try to finish editing one of these videos and get them up. I've been doing like all the background social media stuff, getting the channel set up, the artwork, the blah, 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 all that stuff. It's not point and click. But I've been remarkably productive. I haven't really watched Netflix at all or wasted any time other than, trying to rest because I have a massive headache and am starving myself. But other than that, I think, it's been a good fast. I'm glad I didn't, I'm not glad that my family is stuck in Florida. I am glad that they're going to be safe, but I'm not glad they're stuck there. I, however, am glad that I am not cutting the fast. So I guess I've broken through to day 3. Beep, boop, boop. Let me see if there's anything else I'm thinking of. There is the potentiality that I could be performing stand-up this weekend, but I don't think it's wise for me to try to drive into the city and get up on a stage in front of a bunch of people. Not yet, in terms of like how I feel. I think I'm not in that position yet. And I don't know if I said this before, but it's Cat Box Day, and I gotta tell you, I'm not looking forward to it, but I don't think there's anybody out there, even cat lovers and cat owners, that are like, it's time to clean the litter boxes. I don't think that's a thing. That's like dog owners being like, I can't wait to pick up my dogs. That's not a thing. It's not a thing. I'm sorry. And if I'm wrong, if there's somebody that legitimately, you know, feels that way, please comment below. I want to talk to you. I want to interview you. I need to understand. So, anyway, there's that. And, you know, please, I'm doing this for charity, and please donate. There's, you know, a donation screen coming up, and you're not donating to me, you're donating to charity, and it's tax deductible, and it helps people. And I really hope that you do that. And also, if you want to subscribe to the channel and like and follow and share and comment and become a patron on Patreon, you can do that, and I won't say no. Have a good one. This is morning 3, and I'm going to go drink more water. Bye.